Are the Giants in a rush to start Jackson Dart? The Miami Dolphins veterans are rolling into training camp right now, slamming the door on an offseason jam-packed with drama, and maybe nudging some of the bigger questions into the spotlight. This season's kickoff already feels like a roller coaster, and if you thought the offseason was wild, the real ride is just revving up. Think about how this all kicked off. Late March felt like a schoolyard brawl. Jalen Ramsey and Mike McDaniel nearly came to blows over who got to hold the swing. Yep, two grown men, a head coach and a star cornerback, apparently duking it out like kids. It was loud, it was messy, and it set the tone for what seemed like an unraveling. Then Jonnu Smith dropped the mic on Miami, delivering an ultimatum that basically said, either you respect me, or don't bother. The implication: he wasn't sticking around for anything less than being treated like a top talent. And Tyreek Hill? He stayed busy filling Instagram with subtweets, playing chess, while everyone else was watching checkers. Sure enough, Miami cut a deal shipping Smith and Ramsey off to the Steelers, trying to flip the narrative and gain some clarity. But did it actually end the noise? Not by a long stretch. For Ramsey, social media played out like a victory lap. Hearing him talk, Mia was finally the cage he needed to break free from. Smith went all in on podcasts, painting a picture of a locker room climate that looked less like a winning environment and more like a pressure cooker without a release valve. And the man sliding into those vacated jersey numbers? He's been a ghost. You'd think stepping onto the field where iconic teammates once stood might come with a bit of bravado. But no, total radio silence. No quotes, no cameras, no nothing. Not exactly instilling confidence, right? Now, toss Minkah Fitzpatrick into the mix. Yep, he's back. Miami's brought their safety home for round 2. But there's a twist. Nobody has a clue what this means. Is this a homecoming full of fireworks? Or a ticking time bomb? Fitzpatrick's name might as well be echoing in an empty room. Not a single soundbite yet. No hype, no reaction, not even a simple, "I'm thrilled to be here." Just silence. And in sports, silence isn't golden, it's eerie. Let's unpack that. Steelers fans were lukewarm on Fitzpatrick's presence. Rumblings about poor leadership, locker room friction. Not exactly attributes you want in your signal caller on the defensive side. If that sentiment was strong enough for Pittsburgh, you have to ask, has anything changed? Because a player can only hit the field hard so often before teammates start looking sideways if he's a source of discord. Miami's gearing up for camp, full of rookies who showed up last week and big dogs hitting the field now. But here's the question. Are Dolphins really counting on Fitzpatrick to hold their defense together, steer young guys, set the tone? If so, that's a heck of a gamble to make while the man's been tight-lipped. The fact that he hasn't spoken publicly yet, especially in this environment, is loud in its own way. And it's not a gentle whisper. Let's cut through the quiet. Fitzpatrick wore out his welcome in Pittsburgh. Wasn't the leader the Steelers wanted him to be, is a phrase that keeps popping up. So, why would we expect a different outcome down in Miami? Unless Fitzpatrick spent this offseason digging into himself, rethinking how he leads, how he inspires, how he lifts teammates, the Dolphins could be stepping into a trap, assuming a big-time name equals big-time influence. That's not always how the locker room works. And let's not forget, who are his teammates now? This is a Miami defense that's been stepping through change. New faces, new schemes, and fans want to see unity, direction, purpose. They want to see sweat. They want conviction. So when the cameras go live in camp, when the first pads crack, and when the first drills roll out, we're watching to see not just how he tackles, but how he talks, how he commands. While the spotlight swings around Fitzpatrick, the rest of the scene practically begs for attention. Will the veterans show up with fire or fatigue? Will they look the part, or just go through the motions? There's a history of talent in this locker room, sure, but the difference between talented and together is indoctrination, and patience is thin. Miami's brass handed the team a new starting direction by clearing house. They made a statement, no baggage, no baggage. Now it's on the field. It's on the players. It's on Fitzpatrick. A big question. Does his silence suggest he's processing or plotting? Maybe he's cooling his jets, waiting to land in a locker room where he fits. Or maybe he's stepping in quietly, figuring it out before tearing it apart again. Are the Dolphins ready for no small talk and no press tour? Or are they expecting energy, transparency, leadership the moment the whistle blows?